Hello. Have you ever tried to start something like losing weight or starting a new habit and you just completely failed at it? You got about maybe a week into it if you're lucky and you just can't seem to get it through your head that this is what you want to do and try to be successful at it? Well, you're not alone. My name's Natalie from Familiar Embrace, and today I am talking about being in a community and getting the support that you need in order to grow with your goals and build strong habits and healthy habits. And today specifically, I'm going to be talking about improving your emotional wellness, and why you need support for that. Most of the time, we don't get support for that. But today I'm going to talk about a way that you can get support for that and 9 reasons on how it can help you. So the first and number one reason why getting into a community and support to help you is because of accountability. You have other people there that are not necessarily relying on you, but are checking in with you. And not in a way that it's big bad brother or mom or dad looking after you, making sure that you're crossing all your check marks off your to-do list. But just they're keeping you accountable in a loving way. This is similar in the way that Weight Watchers has been really successful, because when people attend a group setting, whether it's online or it's in person, they tend to want to do better, not just for themselves, but for the group, and mostly for themselves for the group. Another reason is that being in a group can help support your emotional needs, because your emotional needs is not one-sided. It's not like a train track. It is multidimensional. So trying to do this for yourself, you have a lot of emotional needs that are going to be left unmet. And when you're trying to make an emotional goal for you and improve your emotional wellness, you have to look at your emotional needs as being multidimensional. The other is that when you're in a group, you find what your strengths are. And consequently, you also find out what your weaknesses are. But it's really important to find out what your strengths are, because when you're working by yourself, you tend to focus on the negative. That is just something that is natural by our human nature, is to focus on what we kind of suck at. But when you work in a group, people will point out what your strengths are, and they will collaborate with you based on your strengths. So if you want to grow that, then that is a good way to grow your strengths, is in a community. And the next is that you create this awareness of yourself among others and in an environment, because the reality of it is you're not alone majority of the time. If you're trying to improve your emotional wellness skills and you're only doing this by yourself, and when you're in your own world, then how are you going to generalize this and transport that into regular everyday life? So working on your emotional wellness in a group setting will help you generalize that into other group settings of your life that we're in all the time, with your friends or with your coworkers or another group. So you get this practice in a safe community working on your emotional needs, so that you can generalize that to the rest of your life, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense to only be working on yourself by yourself. Okay, next one is power in numbers, and that kind of relates back to the one I was just talking about, is the more people who are working on an identified goal, whether it's the same goal or not, the more powerful that movement will be for everybody. If you're seeing other people working on their emotional needs and they're making improvement, you're likely to gain improvement on that as well, because in a group, we work together and we feed off of each other. It's similar to doing group projects. If one person fails, they all fail. But if one person succeeds, then the rest are more likely to succeed as well. Maybe not at the same width as that person who succeeded really well, but you will also achieve the same type of greatness in its own way. The next one is we're made for relationships. And we are made for relationships, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. Your relationship that you have and what you need depends on your personality type. So the quality and the quantity of relationships that you have differ from person to person, but the fact of the matter is we were made to be around each other, and we were made to do things together. I mean, that's the whole it takes a village concept, is that we were made for community and for support. And the next one is transparency equals healing. So when you're in a group, somehow you tend to admit things more frequently than you do when you're by yourself. When you're by yourself, you're not holding yourself accountable, but when you're in a group, people are holding you accountable, and you're more apt to confess, for lack of better words, especially if you're in an online setting. It's a lot easier to make these admissions and confessions online than it is in person. And when you start to admit those things, you go to the next step of healing your emotional wellness. The next one is that you find that you're not alone. You have a sense of belonging when you are working as a group or in a supportive group. And most of the time when I'm working with people, they ask me, is it normal? Am I the only one? They just want to know, are they alone? Do they belong somewhere? And when you are in a group and you're working on your emotional needs and you're working towards a common goal, you realize you're not alone. And then you kind of take the pressure off just a little bit, because then you're able to see that in some ways you're a little bit further ahead and you celebrate your success. And in other ways, people are challenging you because they're a little bit further ahead in their goals and where you would like to be. So you kind of have a role model there. And that's the last point, is that you learn from others. And I love having and working in a group setting because there's a variety of people that are at different levels in their life. And it brings us awareness to myself and to others that are in the group about ways that you are doing well and ways that you could work better that you haven't seen before because you were only doing this on your own. So if these 9 reasons haven't convinced you to join a supportive community and get some support in your emotional wellness and maybe starting that extra habit that you're trying to create for yourself to improve your life, to feel less stressed and less anxious and to feel more fulfilled, then you might just want to jump in and try it out. But if you are ready to jump in and this is completely just crossed the line for you, you're ready to get going, you want all of these things to help you achieve your goals, then I have 2 options for you. One, I have a free support group called Peaceful Transitions, and the next one is a membership group. And it's similar to if you were going to join a gym, and you can try it out for only $1 for 15 days and see if it's for you. And what it involves is weekly meditations, live meditations and reflections and relaxation sessions. And it's all things to help you connect to yourself, your mind, and your body, and to improve your emotional wellness, to feel better about yourself and your life and where you're at, and to look forward to tomorrow. And then it also includes all of my educational sessions. I have a 6-week breathing meditation series that is open and available to the group, and they get all of the educational videos and all of the meditations that go along with that too, about deep breathing for your emotional wellness. So there you have it. I hope that you can find a supportive community, and I hope that you join mine. Have a good Monday.